Hey, I'm Swag.
And I'm Will.
Will runs a spectacular YouTube channel called TuneForge, and recently approached me with a wonderful idea for a video.
Today, we'll be sharing some secret knowledge with you. We've gathered 20 interesting and obscure facts about music in The Legend of Zelda.
Well, in reality, Will gathered all the facts. I just made things look shiny. What? Oh no, is that?
Whoa! Hey, whoa, this is my video style. What do you think you're doing? Wait, no, get back here!
Starting off with number 1. If you listen closely to the background track in the second dungeon of Twilight Princess, the Goron Mines, you may begin to recognize a familiar tune. That's right, Goron Mines is actually a remix of the Goron Lullaby from Majora's Mask.
Another bonus fact, as pointed out by a user named Nillynush, guess what the dungeon item is? The Hero's Bow, and Majora's Mask was the first game to feature the Hero's Bow. Number 2, did you know that the main Legend of Zelda theme song almost never existed? Yeah, reportedly the developers originally intended on using Bolero, a classic arrangement that had just recently entered the public domain.
Or so they thought, but apparently, it hadn't actually entered public domain yet. In Japan, music usually entered the public domain 50 years after the composer's death. Maurice Ravel, Bolero's composer, had passed away, quote, something like 49 years and 11 months ago.
And since the devs didn't want to have to wait the extra month, Koji Kondo decided to pull an all-nighter and create the main theme. He constructed it by rearranging pre-existing in-game music to make it sound more like an intro.
Number 3. Now we all know the classic Pirates theme from the Wind Waker, but it harbors a dark secret. Take a listen. Haven't figured it out yet? Well, I don't blame you, but now I want you to take a listen to this.
That's right, the Pirates theme is nearly identical to Groos's theme. Number 4, this one is either extremely obvious or very obscure, depending on the type of player you are. In Ocarina of Time, when using the ocarina, you can actually change the pitch of your notes by moving the joystick. It can create some absolute monstrosities.
Number 5. In Twilight Princess, you often come across these rocks called howling stones. Upon transforming into Wolf Link, you're able to howl many different melodies next to them, and they're all callbacks to tracks from previous games.
Number 6, Skyward Sword, the game released on Zelda's 25th anniversary, was the first title to make full use of a live orchestra.
And man, you can absolutely tell how much of a difference it made. It serves to heighten climactic boss fights even further and makes the serene tracks all the more calming. Number 7. Across the series, we've always had very distinct and upbeat house themes. The instruments used have varied from game to game, but it's always kept the same melody.
But in Breath of the Wild, we're given a more somber, nearly unrecognizable house theme, reflecting the broken nature of Hyrule itself. but if you speed the theme up, it begins to resemble its predecessors more closely. Number 8. After finishing Arbiter's Grounds, the 4th dungeon in Twilight Princess, you face off against Stalwart. But what many people don't know is that Stalward's boss theme is actually heavily influenced by another ancient behemoth's boss theme.
That other behemoth being King Dodongo from Ocarina of Time. Take a listen. Number 9. In Skyward Sword, as you're first being introduced to Groose, Zelda steps in and tells him to quit bullying Link around, and a very specific chime is played upon her entrance.
Sound familiar? It should. This is the exact same chime played at the end of the Breath of the Wild cooking theme. Number 10. In Breath of the Wild, the theme for Death Mountain actually includes a subtle yet extremely recognizable melody.
Did you catch it? That's right. Staying consistent with Breath of the Wild's numerous musical callbacks, this is the same Death Mountain theme from the original Legend of Zelda. Number 11. This fact is very popular, but for the very few sacrilegious of you who are unaware, it may blow your mind. Skyward Sword's main theme, the Ballad of the Goddess, is actually just another famous Zelda melody played in reverse.
I'm actually very impressed at how well hidden this is. The song itself sounds entirely original, and yet somehow the reversal seems beyond natural. Number 12. This is my favorite fact on the list. In Ocarina of Time, whenever you enter Hyrule Field, the classic theme starts playing.
But what you may not know is that this theme is entirely adaptive. The song itself is around 5 minutes long, but what specific section of the song plays is entirely dependent on your actions. Number 13. In the 2021 E3 trailer for Tears of the Kingdom, as well as the first 2023 trailer, we were given a brand new theme. Kind of.
Hey, so funny thing, this fact was written before Tears of the Kingdom came out. So the original script has some, outdated information. The fact was gonna be that the 2021 Tears of the Kingdom trailer had a background track that spun off of the Breath of the Wild theme. But now we actually know it's just the Tears of the Kingdom main theme, so it's not, really that, but, you know, still kind of cool, I guess. I'm pretty sure the Tears of the Kingdom theme spins off of Breath of the Wild anyway, so like. Number 14. Easing our way back into the classics, did you know that Outset Island contains a hidden reference to a past game's beginning village?
Yeah, Outside Island's theme houses some pretty deliberate references to Kokiri Forest from Ocarina of Time. As a bonus fact, Windfall Island is actually just a seafaring remix of Kakariko Village. Which leads us right into our next fact.
Number 15. Ever since A Link to the Past, every iteration of Kakariko Village has retained the same theme, whether it be remixed or identically the same. So, does this imply that Windfall Island is technically a remnant of Kakariko? Food for thought.
Number 16. In Breath of the Wild, you can find the ruins of what used to be the Temple of Time on the Great Plateau. So cool to see the historically holy monument reduced to rubble.
And if you decide to poke your nose around the temple itself, you'll be treated to a very slow, broken-sounding Song of Time. Breath of the Wild has so many nods and references to previous games. Number 17. Functioning very similar to Ocarina of Time's Hyrule Field, Skyward Sword's overworld, the sky, also has adaptable music, albeit in a slightly more subtle way.
The sky theme on its own is an extremely energetic and triumphant track, evoking a sense of adventure and freedom, but it's not all fun and games, as there are a good few enemies for you to battle during your flight. And to heighten the tension, the composers decided to smoothly add a snare drum to the track when approaching an enemy.
It may not be a particularly mind-blowing fact, but small tweaks like these are really what help the game environment feel more alive.
Number 18. In the deluxe version of Link's Awakening for the Game Boy Color, Nintendo decided to add an entirely new dungeon, the Color Dungeon. It was meant to be an optional challenge for players to overcome that would take advantage of the Game Boy Colors. Well, you know, color.
Nintendo, quite ambitiously, decided to give each dungeon in Link's Awakening a unique background track, something even A Link to the Past didn't manage to do. But as for the Color Dungeon, they quite literally just decided to reuse the Zelda 1 dungeon theme. I'm not really complaining, it's still a great theme, but one can't help but wonder if this was a result of time constraints.
As a bonus fact, this same track is reused in Majora's Mask and is played by Japis, the bassist for the Zora band, the Indiegogo.
Number 19. On the topic of the Indiegogos, the keyboardist, Evan, can be heard playing the Game Over theme from Zelda 1 upon entering his room.
Man, these fish are all a bunch of nostalgia junkies. I wouldn't want to be reminded of Zelda 1 if I was a Zora. I'd have to remember looking like this.
And number 20. I'm gonna be honest, I'm leaving this one up to Will. I am not musically inclined enough to understand it. It's time for Music Theory with Will.
The Ocarina of Time, the essential instrument of both Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask, uses only 5 notes to make all the important songs: D, F, A, B, and a higher D. This means that if you played all the notes together, you get a D minor 6 chord, which often corresponds to the second note Dorian note of the D 6 chord, which often corresponds to the second or Dorian note of the major scale, which is just like a minor scale but with a major 6th. The Song of Time, Song of Storms, and several others are all played in the Dorian key around this D minor 6 chord, but several other songs use the same notes in different modes or even different scales. This Dorian sound is very iconic in the Zelda series, present in songs like Link to the Past's Dark World, Link's Awakening, Telltale Heights, and Breath of the Wild's main theme. Now, of course, if you count all the additional notes you can reach with the other buttons, you can access all the notes between the B below the low D and the F above the high D, allowing for complete totalitarian control over the universe of Zelda music as you decimate every sharp 9, D-flat major 7th arpeggio, and a chromatic passing tone in sight as you play more songs than those prescribed by the oppressive 5-note boundary that Nintendo forced upon me for 2 years before I rebelled and began playing any note I wanted. In short, Zelda music is cool.
I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're interested in more musical content, be sure to check out Will's channel, TuneForge. Absolutely spectacular stuff, I really suggest it.
And as always, have fun storming the castle.
Hey, whoa, get back here!